Hey everybody, David Screeky here. So doing my stock chart of the day is Sunday night. One of the advantages when there's no football. Um, so yeah. So I did a thing for my paying members on parabolic charts and how parabolic charts all blow up and they all collapse in the end. So this is like super micro computer, which is like another AI chip stock. You can see like 5 years ago it was like a $20 stock, and now it went to 1,200. And you know, kudos to those who bought it, right? And now it's 730. But this is a classic parabolic curve here. It does kind of look like it's starting to break. So the question is, like, the thing about these kind of bubbles is usually there's a big move down, then a rally, then another move down. Well, the question we have to ask ourselves here is, like, there were all kinds of 40-50% corrections during the internet bubble in the late 90s. I remember them. Then they would go to new highs. And then finally it ended in March of 2000. So will that happen now? But look, I don't know what's going to happen with the stock. At some point, you can see like the RSI is getting pretty oversold in the stock. So at some point it's probably going to rally, but I would say that let's put the log scale on so you can see it a little better. Yeah, you can see that this was like, whatever, like a $15-20 stock. Here on the RSI kind of puts it a little more in perspective. And so the question is, like, do we kind of like see a bounce up here? Is there one more high? There was a pretty significant correction back last year. We went from 350 to 250, which is over 30% decline. So can it kind of hold and have one more blow off to a new high? Blah blah blah. I don't know. But all I can tell you is this: that when I look at SMCI and obviously NVDS, which we've talked about in the past, and I see these things, and again, when you put them on the linear scale, and you see the parabolic curve going on, all parabolic curves collapse. And it doesn't matter. Like, Amazon collapsed in 2000, the Nasdaq collapsed in 2000, even though the Nasdaq is much higher now, 20 plus years later. Like, they did collapse. These things all collapsed 80-90% before they eventually moved higher. Now, the one thing I will say is we're getting close to being oversold, right? So at the very least, we're going to see some kind of bounce. But the question is, again, is it just a bear market rally? Is it the start of like one more final move higher? Like, one thing that's interesting to me in the market is that I've talked about in the past recently, the similarities between now, in the kind of the fall of 2023 to 2024 to the fall of 86 to the spring of 87, and spring of 87 and the spring of 1929 both had these corrections and then another move higher into the summer, after about a low in May. So do we continue to kind of like consolidate here and decline here and see one final move higher? Or is it kind of like 2000 or 1937 where you got a top in the spring and then you get a rally back, in May, into the summer, and then when that rally happens, it fails, and then the market starts to roll over. So I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball, right? But I can tell you it's kind of interesting that it's playing out. But look, we also have to be like, realistic here. Like, this thing is now getting oversold, and you can see like here, the last time the RSI went this low, this thing went to nearly 400, went a little lower here, and then blew off to 950. All these declines in 2022. And this doesn't look like nothing now, but this 2022 decline, by the way, was like 60-70% in price. It was a big decline. So it looks like nothing now because this last move has been so huge. But this is much more parabolic. And I thought back then NVIDIA was going parabolic. And I was bearish, and I actually made money on NVIDIA puts and NVDS back in 2022 because I was so bearish. But now we'll have to see what happens. And luckily, I bought some NVDS just because I have a small kind of micro cap, small cap AI stock I own, and I did a pair trade. I was like, well, if AI continues to move higher, this little micro cap is going to go up faster than NVIDIA. And if there's a crash, I don't think this thing will go down as much. because NVIDIA has gone up much more than it. This thing is kind of just starting out. So we'll see. So the futures are up overnight as I'm doing this. But let's get a super microcomputer. Let's go back to that. But anyhow, I just wanted to show you that. So this is kind of interesting that it looks like these things might have started to break. What's interesting is the advanced decline line and the breadth in the market was actually positive on Friday. And it was because these chip stocks, we'll go look at the SOX here for a second. These chip stocks are what kind of broke, right? The chip index was down 4%, the SOX, and it's now down nearly almost getting to 1,000 points, getting close to nearly being down 20% from its highs. So you can see even when this big drop happened here in 2022, there was these kind of little rallies here. So I would think that at the very least, especially at the 200-day moving average, even if ultimately we're heading lower in the chip stocks, we're going to see a bounce shortly, because all bear markets have these rallies to get people back in. You can see again, the RSI is back to 30, which actually is the lowest since the low here in 2022 at the bear market bottom. So, so for any potential shorts or trades, I'm kind of wait for this bounce. But what I want to see ultimately here over the next few months, we're almost getting into May. I guess tomorrow will be the 22nd of April. So, we're only basically a week left to April being, or just over a week, 9 days left to April being finished. So if I'm correct that there's a blow off into the summer, that's only like 2-3 months away, or even a bear market rally into the summer. So, I rather wait for that rally. That's when I would really want to short. I think the best rallies to short would be like December 2007 or the spring of 2008, or like I said, that summer of 2000s. And I'm talking about the big bear markets, not these little things that we've had, since then. That's kind of when you want to short. You want to short that failing kind of rally. And I just think, again, when we look at how parabolic, this is only a 5-year chart. Let's get the semiconductors going back 20 years. Again, you can see how parabolic they're going. So will there be another move higher? I don't know. But again, at the very least, I think we're going to see some kind of rally here. And probably the thing to do in that rally is short it a bit and then wait. And then if it does go parabolic and goes to a new high, another parabolic high, then you can, short it a little higher there. You got a good average price. And if it doesn't, and it fails, it fails, then you shorted it here and it's going to start moving lower. But I'm getting more confident because of the parabolic moves, because of how overvalued everything is, that we are kind of getting now near the end, especially with the Fed looking unlikely to, cut rates, etc. Everything's kind of falling into place. So I just thought I'd show you today. So today's stock chart today was SMCI, this parabolic move. By the way, bar chart is a really good resource, a really good website. I'm not just saying this because he likes a lot of my posts on Twitter. No, it is an excellent resource. I'm actually going to, I've never subscribed to it, but I think, you know what, I think I got to subscribe to it because I do like their site. I like a lot of the information they do, et cetera, et cetera. So, everybody, take care. Oh, I hope you have a great Monday. Like I said, I'm doing this Sunday night. I'll probably post it Monday morning. I'm not going to post it tonight. I just don't feel like it. And everybody, be good.